Welcome to Nerds Explain It All. I'm Steven.
I'm Zach.
I'm Lance.
And this week we're featuring
Ace.
Ace!
What's up, Ace? Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Ace is our number one fan. I think he's the only one who's listened to every episode multiple times.
He's actually all 7 of our fans. So what are we talking about this week, Zach?
We are talking about casting talk this week. We've had a lot of famous comic book and, shall I say, nerd culture roles be cast in the last couple of weeks, and we want to talk about them. We'll be talking about Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange, Spectre, which is the 24th Bond film, and finally, breaking news today, Mark Hamill returns as the Trickster on The Flash. So very exciting stuff to talk about, guys. But Suicide Squad is the oldest, so we'll go chronologically from when the news broke and take it from there. Suicide Squad. So how many of you guys had heard of the Suicide Squad before?
Me.
Does that count Arrow?
Yeah, how many of you had heard of it before Arrow?
All right, never. Well, no, I had. That's a lie. I've heard of the Suicide Squad before. I just knew, like, generally what they were, not quite, who was part of it.
It's
you know what I mean?
They go on suicide missions for the government, the missions that are not expected to really, work out all that well.
But I think that's the point. I think the missing point. The point is it's bad guys forced to be good guys.
Yeah, it's like Leverage, because sometimes bad guys make the best good guys.
That was an amazing show, but no,
I didn't watch that one. But it's comprised. It's comprised of villains that are extremely dangerous, but they're useful to the government.
So why don't we go down the list of people being cast? Start with the people we don't care about first.
Now, hold on a sec. Right, before
Ace,
we
go
get
ahead.
there.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Well, I've already gone into it. Now I might as well keep going.
Go ahead.
Now, is the Suicide Squad, like, in their original incarnation or previous incarnations, anything like what they are on Arrow?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Like the way Amanda Waller's the boss, and they're all super villains who have been captured.
Now, does Waller act the same on Arrow as she's done in the past as well?
Yes, she just weighs about 200 more pounds everywhere else.
Oh, okay.
Than she does in Arrow.
Yeah, because she is banging in Arrow.
Hey,
which kind of defeats the point of the character. To be
let
honest.
us not forget that in Green Lantern she's played by Angela Bassett.
Yep. She is.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Dr. Waller in Green Lantern. Yeah, I think she was supposed to be the Nick Fury of the DC on film universe. That did not work out too well. So
No eye patch.
yeah. Anyway, Amanda Waller is not one of the characters that has been cast, but she will at some point. Now, you know what? Since we brought up Waller, let's just talk about it off the top. The rumor is their number one choice for Amanda Waller is Oprah Winfrey.
I remember reading about that.
Thoughts?
I say hell no, because I'm not an Oprah fan, so I don't want to watch. I don't want to.
Who wants some cereal?
Exactly. That's all that people are going to talk about is if she's cast. I couldn't take it seriously.
When I first heard it, my immediate reaction was, "My God, that's awful." And then I thought that's so DC to do. And then I thought, wait, if they cast Oprah and she does a good job, this will be bigger than Heath Ledger as the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it would be. I still don't want it.
But it's so what DC does. You know,
That's a good point.
That's
kind of their thing.
I kind of hope they do it now just to get people talking. I mean, that's free publicity right there. You're on the cover of O magazine for like a year, so you're in good shape.
Let's think of the audience that they're going to draw in to watch that. All the people who ever watched The Color Purple, go see it.
Basically, Negroes.
Hey, all Lance, your mama would go to see it. I know my mama would go to see it.
She doesn't like Oprah either.
I know my mom would go to see it because Oprah. And all those housewives that have been stuck in the house for the past 30 years that have been watching Oprah at 4 o'clock on whatever channel she was on.
What else has she acted in?
You guys are going the wrong direction.
Bunch of stuff.
If the point is to get people who aren't going to see this movie, then you got to do Medea. No, seriously, those movies make a shit ton of money.
They really do.
Look, Tyler Perry was amazing in Gone Girl this year. I don't want to see him go back to that. I like to see him continue to be a serious actor.
He literally has all the monies, so he can do whatever he wants.
Anyway, I think Oprah Winfrey would be a very interesting choice for Amanda Waller. If the other options are Viola Davis, and Octavia Spencer from The Help.
Viola Davis, I think, has got the acting chops. I mean, she's amazing. Yeah.
Those are all just rumors. So
well, I've also heard. Well, maybe this isn't a rumor, but a Dream CCH Pounder.
Oh, she'd be perfect. She voiced her on
it.
Justice League,
Yep.
and in many of the animated movies, and she looks just like her from the comics, you know.
Yep.
And that's a disservice they doing to the character on Arrow. I think making her CW-ized, should I say? She's a young, slender woman, and the whole point of Amanda Waller was, she's just kind of an average-looking, stocky, overweight woman, but she's still powerful. You know, it's not about how she looks; it's about her mind and how she acts and her personality. So it's a disservice to CW-ize her in that way.
Okay, so let's go on the list of cast.
The actual people that's all speculation and tangents right there. But getting back to the people who've been cast, the big one is the Joker.
Let's go down the list from smallest to biggest, because we're going to talk about these Jokers and other people's.
Good idea, Steve. Let's go down from.
You said Jokers, and I want to make a Smash Brothers reference, but I don't think anybody would get it. So never mind. Continue.
So we're going to go from least important to most important. The first one is Enchantress, played by Cara Delevingne, or Devil, I don't know, whatever. Lance, you know who the Enchantress is?
She's a sorcerer.
All right, who cares?
Sorceress.
So she's like Doctor Strange.
She could be Superman, basically.
Yeah, Superman is vulnerable to magic, so.
I guess think of her as Lex's girlfriend from Justice League Unlimited.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess you need a magic-based character on the team, and Zatanna is not a villain. Therefore, we got Enchantress.
Yeah.
So the next one is Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, who we saw on the Flash versus Arrow crossover last week.
Awesome.
So he's a pretty cool character. Man, any show that can make Captain Boomerang badass, good for them. So props to Arrow and Flash.
And unfortunately, they're not using that guy. They're using Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney of Terminator Genesis fame.
Oh, God.
Kyle Reese himself is Captain Boomerang. Also, John McClane's son from the latest Die Hard movie. So
Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah, so those two kind of uninspired, but at least people know who Jai Courtney is, for better or for worse.
Who?
Yeah. Now we're getting to the real casting here. Harley Quinn. Now this is not our first live action Harley Quinn. We've actually had Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn was the big bad of the series. Who the actress's name escapes me. Never wore the costume or anything like that. She was just Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. So Harley Quinn now has been played by Margot Robbie from Wolf of Wall Street. And I think that is perfect casting. Like
she's from that one movie that everyone saw.
Well, yeah,
except for me.
She did the whole New York accent great, so she'll have the voice, and she looks amazing. So people are going to go see that for her regardless. So Margot Robbie, I think that's excellent casting.
No one's going to be seeing this movie from Margot Robbie. Let's be honest.
I'm going to be seeing this movie from Margot Robbie. Speak for yourself.
She does not hurt it in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's the truth.
And it was Mia Sara that was Harley Quinzel in
two first names.
Yeah.
Mia Sara. What else has she been in?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was his girlfriend.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Show still sucked though. Although Lance has the entire series on his PlayStation.
On your PlayStation now, actually.
I know. I was going to tell you, how am I going to get you your shows back?
I'll figure it out.
Lance got a PS4, so I inherited his PS3 because we're friends.
Yeah, PS4.
Yep.
Rick Flag, who is the How I Met Your Mother of the Suicide Squad. Lance, help me out here. What? So if Amanda Waller is the Nick Fury, Rick Flag is the Aunt Robin. Okay. What the hell? Colby Smulders.
Colby Smulders. Colby Smulders. No.
What's the character's name? Oh, Maria Hill. Yeah. So Rick Flag's the Maria Hill. Colby Smulders was on a season 4 episode of Smallville, by the way, just for the record. Yeah.
It must have been the second half.
You stop watching. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
No, but he played. I don't know if you mentioned. So he's played by Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, Bane himself.
Yeah. Now, what? Cool. He doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a military dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like Steve Trevor.
Right.
Gotcha.
Which is odd. I mean, I know Tom Hardy was pretty unrecognizable as Bane, but it's weird just to see him cast on another DC movie so soon.
Not really weird. He's can pretty blend into characters pretty well.
Right.
And even if he looked the same, I mean, he's going to act completely different.
Right.
I mean, he's just a great actor.
I mean, he's a great actor, so I'm interested to see what he does. So now we're getting to the big guns, so to speak, literally and figuratively. Deadshot, who is played by the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith.
Jazzy Jet. Oh.
No, see, I think this is the biggest deal with the casting because Will
agreed.
Smith.
When's the last time you've seen Will Smith not in his own movie? Like he's part of an ensemble.
No, exactly. Well, that's the thing. And the other thing is like Will Smith, like he is like the most like movie star of anybody to
he's
do
one of the
any of these movies.
Stars there is today.
So and so like because I don't think we've ever had like a comic book related movie where like a star of Will Smith's character, not character, but caliber has done something like this or agreed to do it. So that's pretty.
Well, who else is on Will Smith's level? Like who you think?
Samuel L. Jackson, maybe he's probably the closest.
But he's not famous for being a movie star. He's famous for being Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, Jack Nicholson is the Joker.
That would come close. That would come close.
So this is a huge get. This is on par with like Marlon Brando and Superman, Jack Nicholson and Batman. You know, people who they make movies around just by themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
I was thinking, and I'm probably wrong, but the last ensemble movie he was in was maybe Independence Day, like where he wasn't the star. I mean, he's
true. Yeah.
He's been the star for almost 20 years.
Right.
Because,
but then he made what Titan. AE or was it? Oh no, that was just a Titan AE is a good cartoon.
It was After Earth,
After Earth,
which I heard wasn't great.
With
but
his clone, with his clone son. I swear, Will
Smith
Smith is Jango Fett and his son is Boba Fett. Because if you look at him, he looks like just a younger version of Will Smith.
Well, now everybody's going to be wondering if his kid's going to be shoved into this movie as well.
No, there's been rumors for the past year and a half where his son is going to be Static Shock pretty soon.
That would be cool. Just for the sake of seeing Static Shock in live action.
Yeah,
Agreed.
same here. I like Static Shock. I love.
So do I.
And then his wife is Fish Mooney on Gotham. Let's not forget. So it's a comic book family. So.
I whip my hair back and I whip my hair back.
So in the comic books, Deadshot has kind of a whole face mask. I think what they'll do with this is, you know, if you've seen Arrow, you've seen how Deadshot looks. It's kind of like giant eyepiece look. I think that's what they'll do because you don't get Will Smith and then cover him up with a mask the whole time. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very interested in seeing what he does, and you know, he might actually act instead of just playing himself like he does in a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love Will Smith being Will Smith, but let's be honest. Just like Samuel L. Jackson, he pretty much plays himself in most of his films.
He's kind of gotten to that point, like you know what kind of character he's going to play. That's a good point.
How old is Will Smith anyway?
Dude's got to be in his like late 50s.
No.
I'd say about 50.
He's probably late 40s at the
late 40s.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was in his 20s when he did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that was 20 years ago.
So he's in his late 40s.
Oh, so 40s, duh.
Math, fool. So that's very interesting. He's the most interesting component to all this, I think. Now, all those guys are on the Suicide Squad, but the main name here would be the Joker. Okay. Now, the Joker has never been on the Suicide Squad. I think, if anything, he's going to be the objective, the target, if you will, for the Suicide Squad to take out. So I don't think he's not a team player, obviously.
No, something like this, they need like a goal and they need something. So this makes sense that they would go after the Joker.
And who's playing him but Jared Leto, coming off his Oscar hype and Oscar win from Dallas Buyers Club. So that means all the actors who have played the Joker in movies are Oscar winners, which is incredible.
Yep.
What do you think of Jared Leto as Joker?
I think he has the chops to do it, and I mean, I love seeing new versions of these characters, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But who knows, right?
Yeah, they're also radically different. I mean, Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson were nothing alike, and I think that's what's great about having Harley Quinn now. And this is what I always thought. Like, look, if they're going to do Joker again, that needs to have a different angle on it, and having Harley Quinn around,
having Harley would be good.
Adds that angle. So it's unfortunate, that Heath Ledger didn't get to play the Joker again because we all would have loved to see that. But I think Jared Leto finally will get to see someone play the Joker in more than one movie. Because he'll obviously be in a Batman movie. You don't just cast the Joker for this universe and have him in this movie and that's it. So going to see Jared Leto go up against Ben Affleck. So that should be interesting. You're right. Who knows what to expect? But he's a great actor, and that's all you can ask for. So.
But now the question is, will Harley Quinn stick around, though?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's been talk of maybe the Batman movie, the solo Batman movie, will be a prequel, to Batman v Superman and this. So, because Affleck, he's almost 50, but he can play 30 in his late 30s, and he can play in his late 50s, so they can kind of move around on the timeline with that. So you could probably see a prequel with Joker and Harley Quinn and see how she got captured and put in the Suicide Squad. Or maybe Joker screws her over to escape, because he's that was the
does
thing.
that.
In the animated series, it was the recurrent theme. It's just it's their whole relationship.
Or maybe the Joker gets himself caught to save Harley or vice versa.
Doubtful.
No, I do not want to see a supervillain get caught on purpose ever again in a
Thanks,
blockbuster.
Skyfall.
Okay, Skyfall, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Well, The Dark Knight, I guess, kind of started it, but Star Trek Into Darkness, The Avengers, just everything. Oh, he meant to be caught. Oh, he's such a genius. I'm so sick of that. That trope is so played out. But this cast, when I first heard Suicide Squad was going to be the second movie of the new wave of DC movies, I was like, that's an odd choice, Suicide Squad. But with this cast and these characters, I got to say I'm pretty excited. So there's a lot of potential there.
Will Smith is the biggest part of it.
Yeah,
that's huge.
I think Will Smith is a mistake.
Really?
I mean, I'm a huge Will Smith fan. I mean, I'll freaking see anything with him in it. But I think he's going to take away from the ensembleness.
So you're worried that you'll be so focused on Will Smith.
How can you not be?
Yeah,
how can you not be?
I see what you're saying.
I mean, he's Will Smith. He's got so much freaking charisma. It's spilling out the sides. But I mean,
well, I think if he truly acts,
yeah,
plays
I think
a part.
they might they might tailor it like to him a little bit, but try to also let the other characters shine, kind of like the Avengers with.
I was about to say, whenever Robert Downey Jr. is on camera, he just takes over the screen.
Yeah. Well, that's true. What I see it happening, we don't really know anything about it yet, but I see as what was the dude with no powers name in Hellboy? Who cares? But the point is, it was like John Mayer or something like that.
John Mayer,
that guy.
yeah, that was his name.
But Will Smith, the Deadshot, just got captured, and so you're seeing the universe or the world of these Suicide Squad from his point of view.
He's the new character. Yeah.
Yes,
I follow you.
And so he's going to be the main character in this ensemble film, and then you have the bad guy, Jared Leto. But I just think they should have done someone.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah. I agree. That's a valid concern.
And there's so many great actors out there. Hollywood doesn't seem to notice that there are more than 4 black male actors, but there are.
I agree with you.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about Tyler Perry. I mean, all those guys. I remember reading this somewhere before. Do you think those guys want to act in Tyler? They want to be Deadshot, like up there with Will Smith and Samuel L. Jackson. But I mean, nobody's calling them about it. So here
exactly.
We go. Right. Go ahead and do this. Yeah, just I don't.
No, I mean, I'm with you guys, Ace and Lance. I think Will Smith is why I'm excited about this. That intrigues me. It's something we haven't seen before, and I have faith that the director of this.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah. Who's directing it? Who's the big writer?
So David Ayer, he's done Fury, which just came out. He's done End of Watch. He's done Sabotage. Is that right? Is that the movie with
Sabotage?
Thank you, Beastie Boys. But is that the movie with Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't see that. I don't think anyone did. I'm not going to say he has the strongest track record, but as a writer, he's written Training Day, Fast and the Furious, SWAT, Harsh Times, and of course the Liam Neeson, Harrison Ford classic U-571.
Awesome.
But wait, no, I'm wrong. That's K-19 Widowmaker. I guess they made 2 submarine movies.
They do. So. We always get those confused.
Awesome.
Yeah, wait, which one did he do? The Widowmaker?
No, he did the other one, U-571.
Oh, that was cool. That's about the Enigma machine. But he is also writing this movie. So
okay, so he has a strong writing track record as well.
Yeah. So I mean, this movie, my favorite movie of the year so far, and I haven't seen a lot because new kid, but it was Guardians of the Galaxy. And I didn't know anything going into it, just like the Suicide Squad. It didn't have any big people. I know who Chris Pratt was, and I really knew who all the actors were, but I wasn't going for the actors. I was going because it looked cool, and there was a talking raccoon. And this, I think that Will Smith, I mean, I'm going to go see it because of Will Smith. And now it's going to be easier to get my wife to go see it, especially if he has his shirt off at any point. But I mean, he's really not that way anymore, but she really likes that one scene in iRobot when he's showering.
Oh, iRobot. I totally forgot that movie existed. Wow.
Yeah, no. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, iRobot.
What?
Okay.
That was my Will Smith rap. That's another thing. Is he going to do a rap for this song, this movie?
Suicide Squad.
Hey, man, that
T-Force
first
X.
bit of black still bangs.
No, I'm being completely serious. I miss Will Smith's rap career.
Oh, man. You need to listen to 92 The Beat because I just heard Wild Wild West today.
I have them all on my phone.
Going straight to the Wild Wild West.
Now, that was a horrible movie, by the way.
It was terrible.
No. Would you rather have Will Smith's rap career start again, or have him star in a show where his son, who's been growing up in Beverly Hills, has to go back to Philly to learn on the streets. That's an age-old question, and I honestly
you want
don't know.
Boy Meets World with Will Smith? I don't think that's going to happen. So
Not anymore, but oh my gosh, salivation. And well, now that James Avery is dead, it makes me sad, like really sad.
Oh,
that's bringing us down.
I think that if they can rein in Will Smith's personality, not his, because he's a nice guy. I think he wouldn't mind taking a back seat. But if they can just rein in his personality because he can't help it, I think it's going to be a great film. In fact, it probably will be anyway.
Right. And then, the last rumor about this is Jesse Eisenberg might be in the film, too, as Lex
Luthor. Yeah.
So who knows what role he's going to play. I mean, I hope it's not, Amanda Waller needs to be in charge of these guys. And Luther needs to be doing his own thing. But, hey, if he wants to cross-pollinate the universe like that, the more the better. So Suicide Squad, I think we're all on board, looking forward to seeing it. So
Cool.
So on to the next story. Benedict Cumberbatch, everyone's favorite actor because he's in everything, has been cast as Doctor Strange in the Marvel film that's going to come out November 4th, 2016. So they're going for that fall time, which is, Halloween, I guess, magic. I don't know. Maybe that's the connection. That's why they picked that time of year for it. But Doctor Strange, I know nothing about Doctor Strange.
He's a sorcerer in the Marvel universe. I mean, that's what else do you need/want to know?
But he's really a doctor, isn't he?
Of the mystical arts.
But no, he's really a doctor, right?
Yeah, he's a doctor.
I don't think it's a part. I mean, from what I recall, Dr. Stephen Vincent Strain, best known under his alias Doctor Strange, is a superhero that appears in comic books published by Marvel Comics.
And that's just off the top of your head, Steve?
A former neurosurgeon, so Zach, you're right there.
Okay, I thought he really was a doctor.
He is a doctor.
Strange serves as the Sorcerer Supreme, blah, 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 blah. No, I mean, he's a weird character to do, but...
Which is the perfect guy to cast him, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Nobody does weird like
no,
he does.
I mean, he's just like... No, it's an odd character for them to like, we're going to make a movie about Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch can do anything well. Anything he tries to, he'll do well. He's going to blow this out of the park. There's no questions asked. My only concern is whether or not he can grow a mustache and beard. Seriously.
They'll just give him a fake one. I mean, that's what they do in movies, usually for the continuity purposes.
I mean, so...
If they do it at all. They might have him go without it.
Yeah, no, he's got to have it.
They might go DC and give no one mustaches.
Yeah.
Right.
Well... I mean, that would look weird to see like Alfred with a mustache or some shit like that.
God forbid anyone in the Batman universe have a mustache.
But I mean, there's not really much to say. He's going to blow it out of the park because that's what he does.
Well, I'm kind of sick of Benedict Cumberbatch. I think it's over pollination. You know what I mean? Like,
do you remember
he's in every part of nerd culture right now?
Do you remember when Terminator's Salvation came out,
and it was awesome? Yeah,
and like Sam Worthington was like in 7 different things. And you're like, yeah, who is this guy? But he
is not a good actor. And Benedict Cumberbatch
exactly.
Is.
I mean, the reason why I see what you're saying, but
I mean, he everything is homogenized now.
That's the only concern that I have is that the fact that he's in everything. But the thing is, he does such a good job in everything that it's kind of hard to argue. It's hard to argue them casting him in it because if he's right for the role, he's right for the role.
It's hard for them too because their initial choice was Joaquin Phoenix. For a long time.
Yeah.
And
who actually is a neuroscience and sorcerer.
But no, I love Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, he was rumored for this. He was rumored for Luthor. I guess he just doesn't want to do comic movies.
No, he's gonna be in another movie called Doctor Really Strange.
Well, anyway, like Steve said, there's really nothing much else to say about this. It's just finally official. It's been the rumor for so long. So yeah, are we going to see it? Of course we are, because it's a Marvel movie. But do I care about this character? No. Maybe he can make me care. Maybe he can be Robert Downey Jr. Like make me care about Iron Man. Maybe he can maybe Cumberbatch can make me care about.
If they made me care about Star-Lord, I mean, he doesn't even need magic.
Star-Lord.
Who?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Come on, man. Star-Lord. Anyways, let's move on
to a character we actually care about, James Bond.
Bond.
You know, be a great Bond villain, Benedict Cumberbatch.
And he would be.
So anyway, the new James Bond movie, the cast has been announced as well as the title, and it's called Spectre.
Great title.
Spectre, yeah. That's the title.
Yeah,
great title.
That is a great title.
Gotcha. Because it is the organization that Blofeld was part of in the 60s. That's in all
It's special something for counterterrorism, revenge, and something.
It's not espionage, is it?
No, it's
that terrorism and I want to say extortion.
It's counterterrorism, revenge, and extortion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it is the criminal organization that Sean Connery fought in all his movies. And that is where Dr. Evil comes from, everyone, by the way. That's why Austin Powers fights Dr. Evil, because he looks just like Blofeld.
Yep.
Now, this is interesting because they're going to tie it in with the organization which was called Quantum, I think, from the first two movies, Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, which Quantum of Solace was not very good. But I liked how they continued that plot line, and I was disappointed that Skyfall did not continue the Spectre plotline, Quantum plotline. So I'm glad they're bringing that back. Having him fight a worldwide terrorist organization, basically.
Yeah.
Now the rumors are, well, here's the cast here. Basically, the big name in this cast is Christoph Waltz. Okay.
Wait, not Daniel Craig?
Again.
Well, Daniel Craig. Yeah, Daniel Craig is returning as James Bond.
Christoph Waltz is amazing and everything.
Now, apparently, and here's what's going to happen, and it's going to piss me off. Okay, he has been cast as Franz Oberhauser. Okay, who was a character from James Bond's past or something.
They're laying on that French name thick.
But the rumor,
or that German name thick.
The rumor, of course, is that he's actually going to be Blofeld, and that's going to be revealed during the film. So I'm sick of these movies. They cast people
twists.
and their twists, and they're like, "Can we just tell a straightforward story, please?"
So it turns out he's actually Khan.
But it's going to be it's Batman Begins, it's Star Trek, it's Iron Man,
it's everything.
It's everything. It's like, oh, you thought, but it's me instead. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so Dark Knight Rises. I'm so over it.
That would actually be kind of cool. Like he gets in an accident midway, like through the movie, and he gets all his hair burned off and that weird scar on his face.
And then he's Lex Luthor from the comic books, basically. Is what you're saying.
No, I can see that.
So I don't know. They probably won't make him bald because they don't think it's realistic enough or whatever. But look, Christoph Waltz is a great actor, but you know exactly what you're going to get out of him. If you've seen Inglourious Bastards and
disagree.
Django Unchained, it's going to be this eccentric guy. And it's going to be Christoph Waltz. Go ahead, Steve. You disagree?
I disagree. I mean, Christoph Waltz has an amazing range. That's sort of what he's been cast in the two movies, like Quentin Tarantino directed. But I mean,
he won an Oscar for Django Unchained. That is a crime. That Leonardo DiCaprio should have won the Best Supporting Actor for that.
Disagree. There's this scene in Django Unchained when he's telling the story about Hildy.
Yeah.
Right.
Hildy. Yeah.
And he's sitting in front of this stone wall, and the fire's going, and he's telling this story. This German story. Yeah, I could just sit and watch him like for hours on end telling the story. He commands the screen. I mean, he's amazing.
Look, he's good. He's great at what he does, but he only does one thing. All right, you see what I'm saying?
No. How many movies have we seen with him in it? 2?
Both of them. No. I know he's in Water for Elephants. He's in that new Tim Burton movie, Big Eyes. I want to see those. He's a great actor. I hope he doesn't show up and he's Hans. What's his name? Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds. I hope he's not just that again.
Water for Elephant was the one I was going to point to because he was a completely different character in that.
Okay, good.
He was also in what was that movie he was in where he was in The Green Hornet.
Oh, he
was in The Green
playing
Hornet.
The same character that he played in the two movies I just mentioned.
And that is completely the director and the people casting's fault because. And you know what? Honestly, Zach, he's probably going to be the same character in this movie.
Exactly. That's my problem.
But he can do it.
Right.
Whatever.
I will go see Water for Elephants. That looked interesting to me, and I want to see that. So that's my concern with this. Is the two things is the villain reversal. Oh, it's me the whole time, and then him just going into standard Christoph Waltz. So, but hey, it'll be great, I'm sure. But I'm just annoyed that those tropes continue. Now,
man, don't forget about Batista.
Yes, Batista.
My man, Batista.
Drax the Destroyer is going to be the henchman, Mr. Hanks, which is cool because we really haven't got a gimmicky henchman for James Bond movie in a while.
Yeah.
They had Jaws in the 70s. not to be confused with the shark by the same name. And then they had, Odd Job, throwing his hat and all this stuff parodying Austin Powers, But because that'd be awesome to see Daniel Craig fight Batista. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Steve.
I hate Daniel Craig as Bond. I never liked him.
Right. You don't like James Bond to begin with, though.
Yeah,
I love James Bond.
What's your problem with Daniel Craig?
What?
Okay. Where do you begin?
I just remembered Timothy Dalton.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yep.
Timothy Dalton is these guys' favorite Bond, which is fucking ridiculous.
Have you seen License to Kill? That's an amazing film.
I saw half of it, and then I fell asleep because it's boring as shit.
Okay, so you're going to criticize us for liking Timothy Dalton, yet you hate Daniel Craig? Explain yourself, sir.
I just... Okay.
I think these penalties offset.
Okay. No, they...
You can't even think of anything, can you?
No.
Can't do it.
What I'm trying to say is...
You can't do it, can you? You really can't.
I can't. He is a... I don't dislike Daniel Craig at all. I mean, I've seen him other stuff. He's great. These movies are good movies. Okay? If he was someone named, John Englishman, but he's not James Bond.
You think
okay?
you think he's too Jason Bourne? Is that your problem with him?
Absolutely.
All right, I can see where you're coming from then.
Hold on a sec. A few days before they did the it was a day or so before they made the announcement about the Bond movie being Spectre, as Daniel Craig did an interview and said, blame Austin Powers for why we have these super serious Bond movies. And I think that's exactly what Zach was getting at. Like, because Austin Powers was so goofy and they took what was already kind of over the top about James Bond and pushed it even further. Yeah. They felt like it seemed like the writers had to go in the complete opposite direction and give us another James Bourne. Jason Bourne.
There you go. And you know what?
It's the same thing that happened with Batman Begins.
Right. Mm-hmm. But that was for the best.
Yes, it was.
It was.
And you know what?
And so is Casino Royale is my favorite Bond film.
I love these movies, but a James Bond to me is Sean Connery and this. You can laugh at me. I laugh at you for Timothy Dalton. You can laugh at me for having my famed James Bond as Pierce Brosnan, but that's the one I grew up with.
Nobody will laugh at you for Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan was a great Bond.
He's suave. He doesn't need to know how to punch people because guess what? He's just he has all the gadgets and that's what
you're supposed to be a spy, espionage. You shouldn't have to. You should know how to fight, but that shouldn't be your default method.
I think
absolutely. Now this is a young Bond, and the timeline has always been really weird. Like he's young, but M is so. And I like the theory where he's James Bond's a codename.
Yeah,
so
I like
that. But the point is, whatever the case, he's James Bond in his young career, and so he's not that suave guy yet. And so that's
he's still relying on his just ruggedly.
But I guess I'm just
exuding the charm that Connery and all those guys did.
I'm waiting for just to swab James Bond again. Yeah. My dream Bond at this point, and he's too old, is Idris Elba. I mean, he would be the best Bond in the world.
I remember when people were talking about that. Like, I remember that was a big thing for a while. Like, people
also,
a lot about people were talking about it, but I think doubt it. I think it'll be awesome too, but I doubt it'll happen.
Yeah.
Now, and if I think it's time for Black Bond, and if we're limiting ourselves to Black Bond, Chiwetel Ejiofor, would be amazing.
That'd be cool.
Oh, the operative.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't think they're going to ever do a black James Bond, just because, he's...
Because it's black, that's why.
Well, no,
it'll cost too much.
Well, are they going to have a black Superman?
Well,
no.
You know what? When people freaked out when, James Bond isn't blonde, this is bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People freaked out then. No, you're absolutely right.
I have no problem.
If they freaked out with blonde hair, they're going to freak out with color of skin. So that's why it's not
James Bond is Filipino.
Look, you don't make James Bond black, all right? You don't make Superman black. You don't make Batman black. Okay? Just like you don't make...
Wait. Why not?
Well, you just don't.
Why? No, that's a stupid reason.
Yeah. Give us a reason why.
You just don't.
I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that like I wouldn't want to see it happen. I'm just saying it's not going to.
Yeah,
because we all know why it's not going to.
I would be fine with it. It's great, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going. Like, you're not going to make Sherlock Holmes black. These are iconic characters. Like, look, if you want to make Harvey Dent black or whatever, or the Kingpin, that's great.
We tried and didn't stick. No, I mean, Batman you really can't make black without changing a story, because you can't have, like, the Waynes, a prominent black family throughout the history of Gotham, because, that didn't really happen back in the 1700s. But Superman, you could. Why not?
They kind of did they kind of did that with Icon. They kind of went around that in the Milestone universe.
I mean,
look,
it's just
James Bond. John Stewart's the best Green Lantern. Make a Green Lantern movie with Idris Elba. That's great.
Well, and I think the issue there is that there's more than one. Green Lantern is like the Flash. There have been multiple iterations of that character. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for whoever's the next Green Lantern or the next Flash to be black or,
whatever
Indian,
race.
There's only one Superman, Clark Kent. There's only one Batman, Bruce Wayne. The big names where there have only been one iteration of that. Now, multiple people have taken up the mantle of Batman, but they haven't been Batman, know?
And in a world where James Bond is just a code name, you could do a black James Bond.
You could, but they haven't made that. That's not an official thing, right?
But it's not. But
no, it's like a fan theory more than
in this world, they should be. Think about it. This movie goes on, and Daniel Craig maybe doesn't in the movie. I don't know, but you've got the next trailer for the next James Bond, and it just talks about blah blah blah, and at the last thing for the teaser, it says code name James Bond. It's like a folder. I mean, come on, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
I mean, do it. Just do. I mean, you can't keep making the movies you've been making since the '60s. You got to change. You got to evolve, and they have done so with these more action-oriented movies. We know what? Make it crazy. Like this is a code name. I mean, they can't just keep saying.
Well, the great thing about the code name too is that it keeps the world of possibilities of the stories you can tell open.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're going to do that anyway.
Because guess what? 2 movies. You've got Chiwetel Ejiofor, and the bad guy turns out to be Pierce Brosnan.
That actually all these Bonds, or the people who have held the Bond mantle throughout the years, now they've made their own organization. Not quite Spectre, but they've gotten disillusioned with the way. The
MI6.
That's
I6.
That's why 006 is such a great villain in GoldenEye. I think it's the same.
That's true. That's sort of the same thing as my idea. In fact, I just stole it. In my scenario, there was going to be another killer satellite. So I mean, it was just kind of.
Well, we've gotten completely off the rails here, but
we kind of.
But yes,
just end it with I hate Daniel Craig. Next topic.
I do want to mention the Bond girls real quick though. One of them is Léa Seydoux, who I have no idea who it is, but there's always two, so I'm sure she'll end up dying or something. And the other one is Monica Bellucci.
Hell yeah!
Yep.
I'm a ridiculous Monica Bellucci fan. When I saw her in Matrix, I was like, "Who is this?" And then she was in the Jesus movie, and I was like, "Damn!"
The Jesus movie. Thank you, Steve.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited to see Naomi Harris again.
That's right. Yeah, Moneypenny. Whose name we finally got. Now, they made Moneypenny black. That's great. I think that's great. But, you can't make James Bond black. Come on.
Now, my favorite part of Skyfall was the ending, hands down, where they did that just blatant callback to the original Bond.
Yeah, the office and throwing the
coolest thing.
Yeah.
I absolutely, what little Bond cred I have, just geeked the hell out in the theater. I was like, this is awesome!
And I thought that would have been the perfect time to end Daniel Craig's.
Are you serious? When he just got started, basically? I mean, because
Daniel Craig as Bond. Did I not mention that? No, I guess you're right. Maybe in this movie it'll be. In fact, it probably will be just him being James Bond like we know him, and then I'll be when is it coming out? 2016.
15.
In 2 years, I'll be like, he's the coolest James Bond ever.
The last 3 movies have all been like him becoming Bond. I don't know why it took him so long. I thought he was Bond at the end of Casino Royale, right? He's like, Bond, James Bond. Like, oh yeah, James Bond is back. And then the second movie was about, oh, he's dealing with all this stuff and he's not quite James Bond, you know. And that's why the gun barrel sequence is at the end, you know. And then the third one was like, oh, well, you know, M and all this family stuff and all that. And now he's finally James Bond. Yeah. Exactly. What did you guys think of Skyfall? Just real quick.
Well, I think as far as the whole family stuff, I think that was killing off everything that was him that was before James Bond.
And now he's,
we're done.
Purging the past, yeah.
Now he's only James Bond, which I liked.
Right.
And I was sad to see M go, but I think it's a good fit with Voldemort.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then, you know, but Skyfall, people just love Skyfall. I'm like, okay, it was pretty good, I guess. But
it was good.
Casino Royale was way better, in my opinion.
It wasn't Skyfall was not a Bond movie at all.
It was very Jason Bourne, very Dark Knight, lots of elements, very Home Alone, like you said.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I think that's why people liked it so much and maybe didn't realize it at the time. I mean, they just watched another Bourne movie or they just watched a Batman movie and didn't quite realize it, you know?
Right. Well, you know, like we were talking about with the villains and all that stuff. Bottom line is, I hope they don't water down the James Bondness of this new one as much as they have.
I think that's what the end of Skyfall is, and I think that's why they chose the name Spectre.
Right, we're going back to the basics. Yeah.
I think they're trying to get back to that. Here, James Bond was still fun. Let's get back to that. It was kind of goofy back then. Let's get back to that.
Right.
Goldfinger, man. Goldfinger. What a ridiculous villain. What do you do? Paint. What? I paint things.
I love the fact that this movie's called Spectre because now I can make all my Mass Effect jokes and it'll be awesome. For anybody who's a Mass Effect fan out there. So I just wanted to get
we get it. Inspector Gadget.
Now I want to see a gritty reboot of Inspector Gadget.
Oh my gosh.
No. If you're gonna put Inspector Gadget on screen,
I want a Chris Nolan Inspector Gadget.
God no.
Where there's an explanation. I need to understand why he has all these gadgets and what their use is.
Who would be?
You know what you're gonna get? Gadget? You're gonna end up with the RoboCop reboot. Just now he's got more gadgets. Yeah. You're gonna end up with the exact same thing, and that was horrible.
Whoa. What was wrong with more gadgets? I say, it would be great, RoboCop with like a gun arm and jetpack.
No, but
you're describing RoboCop 3. Who would be a good Inspector Gadget now?
I think Chris Pratt could do Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, there you have it. That's amazing. Chris Pratt is Inspector Gadget.
He can make it a little goofy. I mean, he's like the new Harrison Ford.
Look, we're in the '90s nostalgia era, so of course they're gonna bring back.
Wait a minute. If you're gonna do Inspector Gadget, the real question is who's gonna play Penny?
Chloe Moretz Grace.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Whatever.
Yeah.
She's too old for it now, though, isn't she?
Elle Fanning.
There you go. Yeah, Lil Fanning. Yeah.
All right. What about Dr. Claw?
No one.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh my god.
You heard it here first on Nerds Explain It All.
And we bring it all, sir. And we bring it all circles. And we bring. What the hell's the?
Actually, it all comes full circle. Is what you're
I'm ruining this great segue.
No, actually, I think the perfect Dr. Claw, was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Will be Mark Hamill. Which brings us to our next topic.
Way to save the segue, Steve. Go ahead, take it away.
For those of you out there who watched the Flash series back in the day,
all should watch the Flash now. And if you haven't seen the old Flash, you should go watch that too.
We got some great news for you. This also counts if you're Star Wars and/or Batman the Animated Series fans. Basically, everyone.
If you're a nerd of any kind, you'll like this.
Seriously, Mark Hamill, the king of nerds, is playing his old role, the Trickster, on the Flash series, which is also really great. This is amazing news.
This is breaking news today. So we were on the front lines of breaking news, folks. Mark Hamill played the Flash in a couple episodes of the 1990 Flash show. It was basically like an audition tape for him playing the Joker. It was before he played the Joker, and you can really see a lot of his
Jokerisms.
Yeah, and his voice and all that stuff. And then he was great. It was a lot of fun. And he's coming back.
Pretty
now.
Colorful.
Yeah, it's very colorful. If you've seen pictures of his costume, it's pretty ridiculous. But that's the point of the character. Now on the Flash, now what they're doing is they're going to make him like they're going to have to like a Hannibal Lecter person they have to go talk to in jail because there's a copycat Trickster. Like he apparently was like an urban terrorist a long time ago. in Central City. He's serving a life sentence in Iron Heights, which is the same prison that Barry's dad is in. So apparently he's going to have a couple scenes with John's Wesley Shipp.
Excellent.
Yeah, so this is just so awesome, like nerdgasm to the fifth degree here.
There's only a couple things that can make this even better, and one of them is casting
Uncle Julio,
yeah. and then the other is like they need to find a way to bring Joyce Heiser back.
Who's Joyce Heiser?
She was Lockhart.
Oh, Lockhart. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say nice. she was the only other character I want back. So we're getting into real Flash deep nerdism here, but that Megan Lockhart was Barry Allen's one of his other love interests on the show. They're already bringing back Tina McGee as herself. So they're doing the same thing here. But yes, Alex Dessert, who was in Becker.
He was in Becker.
Probably more known for that in The Flash. He played Julio, which was Barry's like best friend or something on the show. He worked with him at the crime lab. Yeah. He was just a fun, goofy. He's basically a lot like Cisco is on the show now.
Yeah.
So they need to bring him in. He needs to be Uncle Julio. He needs to be Joe's brother. He needs to be the father of Wally West.
Wally West.
All right, make it happen. All right, see, so make it happen. The Flash. I'm sure they will if they're getting these guys back. I mean, if Mark Hamill can make the time to come on your show? I'm sure Alex Dessert can as well.
What else is Mark Hamill doing?
Star Wars Episode 7.
That was a joke, guys. God.
Up until 2 years ago, that would have been a very legitimate question, Steve.
my problem with this is you can't having an urban terrorist who named the Trickster is not believable. That's like a goofy ass name.
That's actually a very valid point. Now
the deadly terrorist known as Scoobity Doobity.
That's a very valid point, Steve. But I think it's amazing that they got Mark Hamill, who is doing Star Wars trilogy right now, and he's going to come and be on The Flash, a CW TV show. So The Flash is legit. Like The Flash is doing things right. So, and I think it's great that he's coming back. Who knows? I mean, he might come back again later. I mean, I'm just one episode at a time. But I think it's really exciting just to have Mark Hamill on the show. I can't wait to see. I wonder if he's going to have a beard because that's his kind of new look. Crazy bearded Mark Hamill.
Have you seen crazy not bearded Mark Hamill? He looks ridiculous. He needs a beard.
Man, he was in that car accident in the 1970s. And that's what.
I was showing my wife pictures of him, and so she looked up. She wanted to see how he looked now. She looked at Mark Hamill. And she's like, "Ugh," and I'm like, "No, wait, look at this picture." She's like, "Oh, okay."
Well, from a couple years ago, he'd really let himself go. Like he was on like Burt Ward levels of letting himself go. So
he was only doing voice acting.
Right.
He needs
but still,
he didn't have to get out of bed. He can literally phone it in. Just put it up to the speaker. Hey, I'm the Joker.
But anyway, Mark Hamill's on The Flash, and there was much rejoicing by nerds. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up our casting talk. We had a few interesting tangents there. But hey, that's what it's all about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And, be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are at Nerds Explain. We're going to have our information up at the end of the podcast here. You can find us all on Twitter and see what our thoughts are on other things of this nature. And any last words, guys?
Well, first off, we just want to thank Ace for coming out. He's a great addition to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Hope to have you again soon.
Yeah.
Indeed. And we'll see you guys next time on Nerd Explain It All. I'm Steven.
I'm Zach.
I'm Lance.
And I'm Ace.
And here, we don't break the news, but we do break it down. See y'all, guys. Okay. I'm ready.
Very strong opening there. Hey guys, excuse me. What's up? No.
Okay. 3, 2. I was not.
All right, Steve's going to introduce us, and then we'll just go around and say, "I'm Zach. I'm Lance. I'm Ace."
Yeah, no.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nerds Explain It All. I'm Steven.
I'm Zach.
I'm Lance.
And I'm guest star Ace.
Guest star Ace. Is that your official title?
I'm not officially a part of this. I'm just a guest.
Featuring Ace.
Featuring Ace. That's probably what I should have said.
Let's start. Oh no, let's not start over. But next time when we have other guests, we'll do featuring.
Feature. That's good. That's good.
Or like the with Reginald Bill Johnson as. That's it. Okay, let's start over. Let's do the featuring thing.
All right. After all that.
Wait, do I say featuring?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little conceited, isn't it?
Featuring the amazing Ace.
And don't forget me.
I'll say featuring. All right.
Go ahead.
But just click and drag that into the blooper section there.
Yeah, already done.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Nerds Explain It All. I'm Steven.
I'm Zach.
I'm Lance.
Featuring...
I'm Ace.
That didn't work.
Featuring I'm Ace.
Damn it!
I'm going to say in this week, featuring...
There you go.
Okay. No, I haven't yet.
Just say Ace, not I'm Ace.
But... yeah, you're probably right.
All right. Now the blue.
All right, I'll quit ruining it now.
The tag is getting longer as we speak. All right, go ahead.